It feels like somebody has your fucking head in a vice. All day, every day. In a vice by the addiction, by your own thoughts, by your own fucking pain. It's getting crushed every day. That's what it's like.
I've traveled over 57,000 miles to more than 20 states to understand addiction and to create a series of art installations to decrease the stigma surrounding drug addiction. Hi, I'm Suzanne, and this is a preview of that resulting art series, The Empty Fix. For this art series, I traveled around the nation interviewing people who were suffering or recovering from drug addiction. The core of each interview consisted of key elements. I would photograph people's eyes. I would ask them why they became addicted, what fueled that addiction. I would get an audio recording of each person's description of the actual compulsion or urge to use. And then I also gave each interviewee a note card on which he or she would write a message meant for you. Here is a preview of the Empty Fix art series installations. You will first see the people I interviewed when you have a chance to see my installation entitled Eyes. I've taken those photos of people's eyes, applied them to glass blocks with a resin process, and I'll present them submerged in fountains and reflecting pools because addiction is like drowning. We walk right past individuals who are slumped over on the sidewalk from addiction, but we've been socialized to never walk past someone who's drowning. One of my first interviews was with a young woman at a tribal health center. She said, Suzanne, yes, it was my fault because I chose to try these drugs, but pretty quickly the tables turned and the drugs began using me. That made perfect sense to me. So I began recording people describing the actual urge to use. I wanted people to understand that this is not a choice.
And it tries to get you to go back to it over and over again. It's like insanity, you know?
And crazy.
It's a crazy part of it was I couldn't go without it.
There's no logical reason to why I did it.
It's even worse being a logical person because you know it's completely illogical to make any sense at all.
Every nerve fiber was motivated
Inside
to use.
every fiber of my being,
It took reign over
wants
everything.
the drug.
All my thoughts.
Beaming into my head, telling me that,
Why not just one?
it's gonna be okay. You can do it one time.
One's not
You're
gonna
gonna be
hurt.
able to handle it. You can. It'll just be.
Just
once
go
and
get it.
once.
Don't worry. And it never turns out that way. Never turns out that way.
I've conceptualized, in collaboration with an art therapist, a community art project that people across the country can replicate to honor their loved ones lost to overdose. Entitled Unforgotten, these strands of gene pockets provide space upon which people can write the names of those who have died because of drug addiction. The varying hues of denim reflect shades of humanity, and the pockets allow for private notes to be added. While interviewing people, I realized that they have a lot to share. So I gave each interviewee a note card upon which to write a message. These messages are for you. I present them in medicine cabinets contained within bathroom segments to provide an environment reflective of private moments. Cabinets contain typical bathroom items, providing some hint of the writer's life. Viewers can write their own messages anonymously for us to share on Empty Fix social media. A young man in a Salt Lake City homeless shelter taught me to ask not how someone became addicted, that doesn't matter, but to ask why. And the answers were so consistent. People are made vulnerable to addiction by psychological injury. Sexual abuse, trauma, neglect, bullying, social isolation. We focus our attention on physical safety, but what can we do to keep our youth psychologically safe?
I use drugs to numb the pain.
I've picked up so I could forget watching my brothers being abused by my dad.
I first used because I felt lonely and was looking for a way to escape. I was physically, mentally, and sexually abused by my father.
At treatment centers, I was often warned not to refer to addiction sufferers as addicts. They are persons suffering from substance use disorder, I was cautioned. But they go to NA meetings and introduce themselves by saying, "Hi, my name is John, and I'm an addict." It makes no sense. By avoiding use of the word, aren't we further stigmatizing it? Instead, let's democratize the word addict. I'm currently creating the final art installation, one that addresses the hope of sobriety. Recovery isn't just about stopping the intake of chemicals. It is about healing and learning to love oneself. People in recovery are sculptors, just like me, but their work is so much harder because they are sculpting, recreating themselves. And in the process, they are becoming some of the strongest people I have ever met. This one is for them. For more information about the Empty Fix project, visit emptyfix.com or contact me directly